Clemson versus Ohio State. It's a big game this Saturday. My thoughts are that Tony Elliott is going to be able to pull up some offensive plays that's going to get Travis Etienne in some space. Now, he might have to work around Chase Young, and I think you can't ignore Chase Young at all. But, Mark, I'll start with you. Do you agree with me in the sense that Travis Etienne could have a big game? Because a lot of Ohio State fans are saying there's no way that Travis Etienne in a run game will be able to work against Ohio State. But when I watch Michigan game, when I watch the Wisconsin game, as a Clemson fan, I actually have a little bit of hope, a little bit of excitement that Travis Etienne will have some success this weekend.
Ohio State's got a great defense, and I feel like Ohio State can either limit or take away one aspect of Clemson's offense, potentially, right? So I am really excited about the idea of Ohio State attempting to stop Clemson's run game, because that means Trevor Lawrence and his fleet of receivers are going to have monster days in exchange, right? So we said it all year. Again, it's kind of another cliche. Pick your poison. You're going to die a death with Clemson. I mean, I think that was even a quote from Trevor Lawrence in one of his press conferences, right? You're going to die. Pick how you want to die. So do you want to die by Travis Etienne, or do you want to die through the air? It'll be interesting to me. I mean, personally, I would try and limit that aerial attack if you can, if you're Ohio State. Anything you can do, play the two safeties deep. Maybe you learned something from the North Carolina game earlier this year. Make Clemson work the ball down the field. Let Clemson run the ball a little bit if they want to, right? Travis Etienne, 15, 18 carries a game. Maybe you see him having a lot more carries in the game on Saturday if they decide that they want to limit the aerial attack. That's the way I would try to shut down Clemson. Ellis, shut down's a relative term, right? But Ellis, I'm curious if you agree. Would you try and stop the pass and almost let Etienne have a big game? And you run the clock a little bit as well, and you keep that Clemson offense from having the explosive plays.
That is precisely what Ohio State's going to do. Ohio State's not very strong against stopping teams with good running backs. Morgan talked about this earlier. It's just something that they're not built for, but they are built to stop the pass. You got a guy that's going to be probably a top 10 pick in Jeffrey Okudah playing cornerback. He's about 6'1", closer to 6'2", actually, and he's about 210. So he's a very physical receiver. I imagine he's going to be locked up or Justin Ross all night. However, the other cornerback's really good too, at Arnett. He's not very tall, but he's one of those guys that plays well in his zone coverage. The thing with Ohio State, the reason why they want to get teams in passing situations, because we've said this a couple of times. The guy, Chase Young, they want to get Chase Young in situations where he can pin his ears back and intimidate quarterbacks a little bit. Even if he doesn't get to the quarterback, they want him to get there and at least rattle a quarterback, shake his bones a little bit and start making him throw hospital balls. That's what they want. You get Ohio State in a situation where they're having to deal with the gashing up and down the field and relying on trying to stop the team in the red zone. It's not going to be good against a team that's very elite. You look at a team like Wisconsin, a pretty good running game. I think we all agree with that. However, they're not the most explosive offense. You can say the same for Michigan. You can almost say the same for Penn State, although they were playing with a backup quarterback for most of the game. I think that if Clemson can start running the ball and stick with running the ball, especially running the ball towards Chase Young. I know a lot of people are going to be like, why would you run towards Chase Young? You want to make him overcommit. If you do that, you can hit him over there on the side with some screen passes to Travis Etienne, maybe even Braden Galloway. It's going to be a good game for Clemson if they can get that running game established.